in Chuo Award, and we're going to do award video today. We've done a few in the past, Minato-ku and Nakano-ku, and today we're in Chuo-Ku. Have you ever heard of this? I doubt it, because I don't think that it's super popular unless you're really into financial stuff. But we're starting here today, and I'm kind of excited because award videos are so much fun. You just go to a place, you don't know what it is, and you wander around it for a little while, and you find some amazing things. Today's video is going to start off on kind of a somber note, and that's because as I was doing my research, I was putting in the train station names just to see if anything interesting popped up. And for this station, which is Kyde Macho,
Yeah.
Kyde Macho, this station was actually involved in the sarin gas attacks that happened in 1995. And you can see next to me, like, there's a poster, and if you swivel with this poster, there is a bomb inside this bag. And Japan seems very, 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 very safe. And then you see things like this, and when we lived in Kumagaya, I saw a poster that had people on it, and the posters were kind of scratched out. The faces were scratched out on them, and in time I saw the poster enough times to ask Eric what it was about, and it was about these sarin gas attacks. And it made me realize that Japan has its little bits that still are dangerous. You don't see them every day at all. Like, it's a very small percentage, but things do still happen. And that was surprising to me because I started to get really comfortable when we lived in Kumagaya. So for the station that we're in right now, just to let you know about what I read, because you know how the internet is, you just get sucked in and sucked in and sucked in. At Ueno Station, the perpetrator for this attack, 5 attacks happened on that day. The perpetrator for this attack boarded the boarded the train in Ueno, and he had sarin liquid. He put it on the ground. He went 2 stations to Akihabara. In Akihabara, he pierced the bag and he got off the train. So in Akihabara, the liquid started turning into vapor, and it started to affect the passengers. It went 2 or 3 more stations to this location. The bag was then kicked off of the train. And the people in this area where we're standing right now, which is just kind of creepy, were all affected by it. Like, the vapor then filled this area, and they chose the metro because they knew it's in close spaces. They knew. Ugh. And so a lot of people were affected here, and a few people did end up dying. And it's really weird to be standing here and thinking about that, and having been on the train in the metro, like, I'm a little shaky just thinking about it, and it's just shitty that even in such an amazingly safe place, terrible things still happen. But that's the somber note that we're starting on, and the interesting bit about this little area, you know, not all interesting bits are rainbows, some interesting bits are little nightmares, and that's life. But we're starting Chuo Award. Let's go find something happy.
And after that story, I'm kind of looking forward to financial stuff.
Chuo is not a bumpin' place, especially on a Sunday. There's going to be a pole in the way, so we're going to move onto the sidewalk. Got dangerous.
There's the pole.
Yeah. This is the financial district, and not many people are going to live in the financial district. The area is split into 3 different sections. 2 of those sections are very financial driven, work driven. 1 of them is residential. The residential area, or actually the whole area, is home to about 120,000 people, but during the weekdays, during work hours, that swells to like 650,000 people being here. So I can't even imagine seeing this on like a bustling like Wednesday or Thursday and then seeing it today. It just feels like a ghost town. Nobody lives here, nobody works here. It's all dying. But on Wednesday, it's gonna be a party.
Speaking of crime stuff, we're in a Family Mart right now, and I've seen these things in banks and in convenience stores and places that like could likely be robbed, I guess. And I don't know if I've ever seen these outside of Japan, but they have these little balls, and the balls are full of like a really strong paint. So if somebody comes in here and robs them, the idea is that the clerk then takes one of these balls and throws it at the criminal, and it covers the criminal in that paint, and then it's really easy to spot them on the street. So that's like the robbery deterrent system that they use. And like at banks and stuff, it's like on the counter and it's out like so that you see it. Like they want you to know it's there. It's not like a hidden thing. Like the idea being, I guess, that somebody's like, ooh, well, it's gonna rob them, but they've got these paintballs.
In true Japanese fashion, we have found an amazing restaurant, but amazingness means you're going to wait in a line for a moment, so it's going to be a bit. But soon, something golden delicious will be in front of us.
But we've already been promoted to the seats, so...
Oh, and we're moving forward.
So everybody gets up and moves at the same time. We moved an extra step.
It's going fast.
I feel like we're on the train. Like it's quite quiet in here, and like the music is playing, but it's just very subtle music.
Is there music on the train?
There's no music on the train. We've sat down, and at the tables we have a cup for tea, and inside the cup are these beans. And I'm starting to feel like maybe it's gonna sprout, and the beanstalk's gonna go to the sky, and that's where we're gonna get our food. That's not gonna happen.
I think you're gonna pour something in here, and then the rest of the meal is just gonna come out of the bowl.
Oh, it's like the hydration and Back to the Future. Oh, that sounds really exciting. So we're gonna have some tea, and we've already made our orders outside, which I love when they do that because then they're ready for you, and they're gonna bring our food, and we're gonna enjoy it. As you can see behind me, the tables are full. Most people have come here in pairs of two, so you're sitting directly across from someone that you don't know. And that's a bit weird, but that happens at a lot of these popular restaurants, so we might end up making some friends.
So I don't think we've even explained what this is. What we've come to is a tendon restaurant, and it says it does like kyde Edo period, the Japanese Edo period, like food from before then is where this is from. So I guess it's like really old school tendon, and tendon is like a tempura with different items that have been temporized. How do you say that? Like tempura on top of rice. And in this case, honestly, I started looking at the menu, like, you don't get to choose what's on there. You just order, they come and they're like, do you want soup with it? And that's the only thing, yes. And then they're like, okay. And they move on. So you don't get to choose, like, the pieces or the different types or anything. It's just, like, a set deal at this place. And I started looking at the menu and, like, the things that were included, and it's, like, things that I generally don't like.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. So what we've got eel. And it's a garden eel, and if you look at it, it's a humongous piece of eel. And that's not my guy. I'm gonna try it. I will, but I'm not interested in it.
Eat it. Make me look like a dick.
There's also oysters and stuff in here, which again, things I'm not very fond of. We do have a couple pieces of shrimp, which I like, and I think some vegetables. And interestingly enough, it looks like an egg has been tendoned and tempura'd.
A raw one.
A raw egg, yeah. So that's, well, it's not raw after they deep fry it, basically.
Well, I guess it's just that it's not like a hard boiled beforehand.
Yeah,
There's no shape.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
It's cool.
So I'm gonna go with something I know I'm gonna like first. So I'm just gonna eat this piece of shrimp first, and I'm having trouble with that. It's pretty damn good. The shrimp flavor is really strong in a good way. The tempura batter isn't crunchy or anything, it's really soft. The striking thing about that's like a high quality shrimp, that's like a really good shrimp. Which, yeah, wow, I can't believe how much shrimp flavor there is. A lot of times shrimp is kind of a subtle flavor, but that's like a pretty strong flavor. And now I'm gonna go with this little square, which I'm assuming is a oyster. But
I would advise that you do the eel before the oyster. You will like eel before you will like oyster.
I don't know how to eat this damn thing. Do you eat the whole thing? I just eat the whole thing?
Yeah, you can eat any part of it.
You can
And
just eat it,
yeah.
Alright. I don't know if I can...
Is there supposed to be some sort of sauce? Because I think that would make things better, but I don't see.
I'm just trying it raw.
Okay.
It is, because there is some sauce that's on top of it already.
Oh, okay.
So that's
Great.
why I was just going to eat it like that, and then I think there should be some sauce. This is really too big to eat. Okay, So I'm just gonna eat the whole thing. There's bones in here and stuff, right?
No, there's no bones.
It's an eel. He has
They
no
take
legs.
the bones out. It's not fishy. It's
not fishy. Oh god, I hate it though.
oh gosh,
I really
was
don't
hoping.
like it. It's slimy and oh god.
All right,
I'm
well.
personally picky. It's not that their food is bad. It's that I just don't like things without legs. And now I will try the oyster. I think this is an oyster. It's a square. Is that an oyster?
I think that is scallop.
Scallop. Okay.
So it's
Either
like
way,
that's
it's not
gonna be
something.
like crab.
Okay.
I love it. I love the way it flakes apart in your mouth, and it's just to me like crab. There's no reason not to like.
Whatever it was is okay. It's not like phenomenal, but it wasn't offensive. I didn't mind it. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna load up on this guy. We got these big tubs of ginger, and that will help me with the flavors. If I don't like something, then I have something on the side. I can hit that, and it just totally washes away your palate. But yeah, okay, really cool place. I see why there's a wine for sure. I wish I could have chosen like just a bunch of vegetables or something personally, but maybe I'll steal Katie's shrimp and then she can have some legless snake.
You're gonna have a lot of eel.
Snake, all snakes have no legs. What's it called?
Water snake.
What? No, but it's a garden eel. Is it the same thing? Does he live in the water?
Are there gardens in the water?
I don't know. It's really confusing.
I watched them cook the egg downstairs, and just watching them plop the raw egg in was very strange. I was like, that's not what you do, but that's what they did. And this is the result. So it's nice and golden, deep fried on the outside, and then you can just break it apart. No. I gotta keep that egg. So that's amazing. Never seen that before.
You mix it in with the rice or whatever?
Yeah, or put it on other things.
I'm thinking about just like popping the whole ball in my mouth and biting into it. Do you think it'll kill me? Is it hot?
It's not hot.
So I won't die like molten lava pouring into my throat.
You would just be more egg than you are now. Dewey.
I've got my egg here. I haven't popped mine yet, so it's gonna. I waited until I was done to let it cool off just in case. It's really eggy.
I don't think I've ever seen anybody put an entire egg in their mouth and just go for it.
That was good. I mean, it tastes like, you know, when your mom would make those eggs, like
Sunny side up?
Sunny side up, and you could dip your bread in it or whatever, like one of those things. It just like tasted like eating one of those, and like the tempura batter was the breading, so it was really similar to how that was. It's good. And it didn't bring me at all. I have not been injured.
I thought we'd be finding these shops in the afternoon, but we've actually run into an antenna shop. And an antenna shop is a shop about a prefecture or another location in Tokyo that you could come and visit here in Tokyo. So you don't necessarily have to leave Tokyo to taste some things that are happening in other parts of the country, or get omiyage from those parts of the country, or postcards and such. So this is an antenna shop behind me, and it's for Nara. Nara is famous for deers, so you're gonna find a lot of deers. I'm getting jealous. We came inside just to see what was going on in here, and you might actually think that you can only get omiyage in these shops, like little sweets to share with your friends, but you can actually get local produce from that area that's just been transported up here. So you can have Nara foods and make like a Nara meal with Nara vegetables. That's really amazing. And you can also get their booze as well, like any like just Nara booze if there's something famous. So there's a lot of interesting things to be found in these antenna shops. On top of that, we actually found out they're doing a stamp game today with all of the shops that are in this area. So there's 28 shops, and they're all along this map, and we will never get to all of them today because Can we just go to all these shops?
We could, if you want to, just do a prefecture tour within Tokyo.
You know, that actually would have been an well, going into these shops probably doesn't make a very good video, but it's still fun. But we'll stay in Chuo-Ku and try to focus. That'll be difficult, but we'll try our best. We turned the corner and there was this wide, big road, and all of a sudden it felt like I could breathe a little bit more than when we got off the train in the suburbs. It felt like, well, the financial suburbs, tight roads and big buildings, but this wide road and these beautiful buildings that almost have like a European feel with statues and carved architecture outside. It's quite beautiful and striking, but still covered in Japanese text. Just this melding is beautiful. And right now I'm standing next to a Bentley. What? It's amazing. It's from 1924 and it smells like car deliciousness. Cars smell delicious. And I want to get in it and find out what all the little bits and bots do and probably wreck it. I think if I wrecked a Bentley, I'd feel, I don't know. That's something like that's so lavish. I don't even know how lavish. I can't even just drive it to one place. You've got to wreck it.
Okay, that's like beating a swan to death with your hands.
For real. Anywho, I'm not gonna wreck this Bentley because they're not even gonna let me touch it, but it's gorgeous. And on top of that, if you walk down the street just a little ways, there are gigantic buildings that feel like New York. This area of town just kind of exploded and really a lot of eye candy.
So this is Ichimanen, and as you can see, it says Japanese bank on here, Nihon Ginko, and this is talking about this building that's right behind me. This is the, I guess now maybe it's a treasury or something, but it's like the Japanese bank, and back in the day it was a gold mint, right? Is that what we decided?
That's what we think.
Yeah, so they, it's some sort of mint, treasury, bank type building.
It's the Bank of Japan.
Yeah, the Bank of Japan. So, it looks pretty old. It's pretty cool looking though. Again, it has kind of like that Washington DC or that European, like, you know, stereotypical vibe with
There's like 16 columns just in this shot.
My favorite part though is that out front there's also some Hello Kitty action. So they're not like completely ignore the Japan part of this.
Everybody's always talking about Japanese vending machines. We are currently at the Currency Museum of the Bank of Japan. So they have a currency museum, you can go inside, and it's free admission, so do it if you can. And there's a vending machine, and we actually found postcards for the postcard club in the vending machine. So I'm gonna get some postcards. They're down here, number 18.
Okay.
So I think I just type in 18 and blue.
Yeah. It's got an elevator system.
Robot 1. Thank you, robot. They'll be to you soon.
So the museum is actually really, really cool, but it's a very museum-y place, like a library style. Like, you gotta be quiet. There's no photography like inside the main museum section and everything, but there's a lot of like interactive stuff and stuff. Like, you can look at like how they make the money and like the security stuff and magnifying glasses and black lights and like all that. They show money from around the world, and they show old school money, and you can pick it up and feel how heavy it was, like gold, and like these like how some Japanese coins have holes in them. They run strings through them and bundle them into chunks. So back in the day, you would carry this like big chunk of coins like with a string through it, and then you'd like hand it to somebody, they'd give you a cow or whatever. It literally said that, by the way. But outside in the gift shop area, they also have a little demonstration that shows a bit of like what the kind of things we saw in there are, and I thought I'd share that with you. So we've got this box, and I'll just go down so you can see easier.
That's good, yeah.
Okay, good. So you got this box, and inside this box they have paper that represents, I guess it's the same kind of paper they print their money on, and it is, how many was it? It was
100 million.
10,000 bills. Mm-hmm. That adds up to 100,000 yen, right?
100 million.
100 million yen,
Mm-hmm.
which is worth $1 million.
Ish.
Basically, ish. So basically, the point of this presentation is to show you what that weighs. Like, if you were to have, in the lowest bill format they have here, $1 million, how much does that weigh? And it doesn't say on here, it says about 10 kilo. But it's cool because you get to actually like pick it up and see like when you rob that bank, like how much is it gonna weigh for you to run covered in that ink from the ball that they threw at you. You're running with your $1 million, you know. It's helping me plan out my my escape. In Japan, they have an interesting way of showing distances between different places. And they use this for the road system and they use this for the train system as well. Where even though Tokyo isn't at the end of anything really, because it's sort of not centralized to the island, but you know, kind of in the middle-ish area, they use that as the origin point. And we're actually sitting at like the 0 mile marker essentially. And it's in front of this bridge called Nihonbashi. And the way that everything works is that everything is a distance away from Tokyo. So from this point that's sort of centralized, it's really bizarre. Because like in America, when we have like roads, it's like you have the 0 point and that's like at the very end of the road. And then it goes 1, 2, 3, 4 all the way to the other end. And then that's like the biggest number, and that's how that functions. Like Key West is at the very end of Route 1 on the East Coast and it's mile 0. And then as you go north, the numbers climb. But here it's like, how far away are you from this point? So they have these plaques that show the names of cities and stuff, and it doesn't matter if you go north or it doesn't matter if you go south. Like, north is a certain distance and south is a certain distance, and this is 0. So that's how, I'm not sure if the new highway system, like the expressways and stuff, are numbered off that system or not, but that's how like old school highways and stuff work. And I recently had a conversation with an older Japanese fellow, and he was explaining to me that the train system all functions in the same way, where the Tokyo is like the origin point no matter where you are, and you'll be like, how many miles or kilometers away from Tokyo am I? And that's how you determine like all this stuff. And he was showing me all these wacky books that he had from before the internet about how you would figure out how long it would take to get places and stuff. It was extremely complex. So this is stuff that I think used to be really, really important to a lot of people back in the day. Maybe now that the internet exists and everybody uses GPS, it's a little less in people's consciousnesses, but it does show that like Tokyo was like mandated as the center. This is where things are originating, and this is like the center of our country in a sense. So I don't know, that might have something to say about like how people here feel about Tokyo, and like how maybe it kind of encapsulates a lot of what it is to be like in Japan and so forth. So this bridge that acts as the like 0 mile marker basically for Tokyo is a pretty old thing, and in modern times they have built a highway system that runs above it, and you can see all of that above me, this greenish construction above us.
The tubes.
The tubes, yeah. And that's where like the expressway is going. And even though they've got like that modern thing going on, they still have got this like monument that sticks up from the above this bridge to show the people that are passing on the highway that, hey, you're passing that 0 point. This is Nihonbashi. Like, this is where everything originates. So it's like a reminder to all those people that are zooming by with their GPSs and super fast cars of like, you know, the old school mile marker. I think that's pretty cool.
Dude, dragons have hooves for feet. At my job, I read a lot about the Tokyo Stock Exchange. Like, I'm constantly seeing like, oh, this is their ticker number and things like that, and I don't know what any of that means, but I really wanted to come here and just have like a save fairest moment, like that. I literally just walked a kilometer over here to do that.
I got bad news.
What?
It's Sunday.
Yeah, it is Sunday, so we couldn't go inside, obviously, but you know, everybody felt it. Months ago, maybe 6 months now, we went to the Tokyo Fire Museum, which sounds awesome, and it was pretty awesome. One of the things that we saw there was that back in the day, several places used to use motorcycles as one of their tools for fighting fires. Not in the fire, but I mean like to get to the fire. This place right here is one of the few. Like, now only 2 or 3 fire departments actually use motorcycles from what we learned in the museum, and this is one of them, and this guy's doing some figure 8s because he's gonna be the badass that's gonna take this beauty out. Oh, I'm so jealous.
Katie and I basically grew up in like suburbs and kind of countryside-ish areas, like that type of like environment. So like until I had traveled and I had come to like large cities like Tokyo and stuff, I never really thought about like your image of a city is like Times Square or like Shibuya and Shinjuku, where there's like tons and tons of people at all times and it's super active and stuff. But the reality of it is there's a lot of areas that are just kind of quiet. And even though you're in like, we're in the biggest city in the world, there's still like dead area in between all these like super bumping parts. And this coup that we're in, this ward that we're in right now, it has a couple of areas. They're a little bit bumping. Like it's got an area called Ginza and stuff that we might end up going near in a few minutes. I'm not sure. I think we're going that direction. But for the most part, like because of it being a Sunday and because of this being like so financially driven, it's just like a quiet area. So even though like you might have this image in your head of Tokyo as this huge metropolis, and it is. I mean, there's buildings everywhere. It's not like I'm walking past like fields and stuff. But there's still like areas where it's not like unbelievably dense with human beings at all times. Like you can find quietness inside of this gigantic like metropolis. I found a refrigerator. That's not usual. It's pretty cool though. Look at his name, Kyde.
You gonna find a head in there?
Yeah, we're gonna find it.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
That's kind of disappointing. Oh man, we didn't open. That's okay.
There's no body parts. I'm really disappointed in this guy. Look how big this is.
That's the same size as the one we have at no. The one we have at home might be taller.
A little bit.
Only a little bit.
At the time that we're shooting this, it's like mid-October, I guess, right now. And that means that fall is here and my favorite season for fruit in Japan has arrived. And this is part of the reason. This is a Japanese persimmon, they call it kaki here. And I'm gonna go ahead and just bust into this one. It's a little early in the season. Like you kind of want it a dark color like this. This one's kind of a little bit light on this side. And Japanese people tend to not eat the skin, from what I can tell.
A lot of Japanese people may cringe right now.
Yeah. A lot of Japanese people go, oh my god, he's eating the skin. It's gonna make him constipated or he's gonna die or something. But I don't eat a lot of these things. We eat like a couple of them a week. I eat the skin, I'm all right. Yeah, anyway, I'm gonna eat like an apple too, which is like an animal, but I don't have a knife, so what do you want from me? And I just saw this and I was like, that's gonna happen. So good. This one's perfect too because it's like the sweet part is this dark area and this part is a little bit crunchy, so you get like a little bit of both. And look how it's like evenly split. It's like it was designed for that. If you have the means, you should eat these things. They're amazing.
We really love the idea of kobans, just this area where really nice people want to be helpful, and those nice people happen to be police as well, so they are authoritative and can take care of things for you.
There's a lady right now asking for directions.
She's asking for directions, and you know what? She's going to get a very polite, informative answer, and I dig it. At this koban in particular, you also get this little quaint building. It is adorable, and we're actually standing at the northern entrance of Ginza. So if you ever come to Ginza, go to the north part of the strip and you can see Ginza, which is the most expensive place in the world. And you can also, well, not in the world, I mean in Japan. And you can also see the little koban, both together.
So Katie had mentioned that Ginza is an expensive place, and it's like the most expensive shopping district in Japan that we're aware of. And it's sort of like Fifth Avenue or something along those lines. And it has kind of like neighborhoods that are kind of sistery in Tokyo, actually, where there's other high-class shopping areas. But this is like the big one. And I don't know, if you can't tell, I mean, I know I dress like pretty like dapper, but this really isn't my neighborhood. I do come here to get, if you're tall and you live here and you need pants, the Uniqlo here will cut your pants custom length. So I come here for pants, but they're like 30 bucks. But if you want to come here and like get like high fashion stuff or whatever, if you're coming to Japan, you want to see that type of environment, this is a good place to come. Honestly, to me, it feels like it doesn't have quite as much soul as some of the sister neighborhoods like I mentioned earlier, places like Omotesando
Harajuku.
and Harajuku and stuff. Like those areas kind of have similar types of shops in them, and to me those have more like energy, and this is more like, I don't know, it just doesn't have a whole lot of like excitement to it. So it's not really a place we come very often. However, on Sundays it's kind of cool because they do close down the road that we're standing in right now, and they'll put like bench seats out and stuff, and people can sit down and chill, and like, you know, you can hang out while your girlfriend goes shopping or whatever is basically I think what the situation is. So in that sense it's kind of nice, but I would recommend if anybody wanted those things, try a different neighborhood.
Eric and I kind of play this game a lot wherever we go, like which one would you buy or which one is you? And here you have it. Which one is you? Or which one would you buy?
Which one would you buy?
I'll give you a moment to make your choices.
Okay, hold on, let me get a shot here then. Alright, so this is what we're working with. These are all bags, by the way, if it's unclear. And we know there's a cat down here, but we're really talking about dogs in this situation. So, there we go. I think that gives everybody time to think.
All right, hopefully you've made your choice. This was mine, which is Wishbone. And Eric, what about yours?
I asked Katie, I was like, well, which one do you think I got?
Nailed it.
That's not only the one I would buy, that's the one that represents my inner self.
Ginza can be very difficult for me and Eric because we're quite frugal people. We spend things on things we need, and we splurge on things that we will use every single day. Like we splurge on bots, we splurge on laptops, we splurge on things that you get good use out of. We find it very hard to splurge on one-off things. And I got excited by this picture in our guidebook that showed these dried pieces of fruit dipped in chocolate. And the price in the book said for each gram it is 23 yen. I didn't really think things could get real expensive. I mean, 1 gram's only 23 yen. I was wrong. So we went to this chocolate shop, and it was dark and dank, and you walked in and they called you madame, and I don't...
But dank? It was dank is the opposite of posh. It was posh.
Okay, it was dark and posh, but it was dank just because the saturation of the color of the room. That's what I meant by dank. And so like we walk in and you're looking at all this chocolate in these little baskets that just look like they ripped open some like packaging, like a cardboard box. It really didn't look like, they didn't go the full mile in this place, and they did come over and give us some free chocolate, like tiny bits, like it was 1 gram's worth.
Yeah, that was 600 yen worth of chocolate.
Yeah, and so we got to try a little bit of chocolate, and in the end we did not end up buying the chocolate. This is what we've done. So I went over to Family Mart and I got Eric's some of his favorite chocolates.
I don't know if they're my favorite, I just like them.
I will say that I do not like these chocolates. The caliber of this chocolate, you see the shine on the chocolate? That just, it's not good chocolate, but the boy loves them. Give him one. Go eat it.
They're good. I don't even care. And this was what, 200 yen, 250 yen?
It was 212 yen.
Yeah.
How many grams does it say it is? 86 grams.
It's a good deal.
That's a good deal.
Especially in Ginza.
Yeah, and it's got almonds instead of the fruit. I don't know. Anywho, so I was excited to go to that shop because I get a little bit of chocolate, but I'd also get a refreshment of some sort. Their drinks there, which had chocolate in them, were 1,300 yen.
Yeah, and it said it was, what did it say? It said chocolate milk drink. No, milk chocolate drink, $12. I was like, it's a $12 yoo-hoo. Like, I'm not gonna get down. I can't do that, you know what I mean? So I was like, we're not going in here, we're not doing this thing. Let's go to a convenience store. So that's where
You didn't say that? I thought of that. All right, don't take credit for my
I talked about the chocolate. I talked about these guys.
He did, and that's why I was like, oh, there's a convenience store, go grab them. But as you might have been able to tell that between the camera moving from me to Eric, we've come and we're sitting and looking at something beautiful. And that was not offered at the Dark Dank Chocolate Factory. This is the Kabuki Theater here in Ginza. So you can go and see some old school Japanese theater here. We're not going to today because that's not the aim of today. But we're gonna sit here, enjoy our chocolate and our beverage with something beautiful to look at instead of in the dark, dank chocolate factory. And I'm gonna sit on top of this mailbox. We were saying there were other places to go for kind of like a fashion experience that has a little more heart than Ginza, like going to Harajuku or going to Omotesando, and I was wiggling around. Eric's making fun of me. And I noticed that as we're walking around here, you're just wiggling the camera now to make it look like I'm wiggling. We've slipped in and out of Ginza several times today, and I didn't even realize it until now when I was like, well, let's go back to Ginza and get a shot of my favorite time in Ginza. And that's when it's starting to get a little bit dark, but the lights are coming on for all of the signs of the buildings. And it has kind of a New York meets Asia feel. Because in Asia they have all these signs that are on the sides of the buildings because all of the shops go up in the building as opposed to out on the building or on the land. And all of these lights are coming on and it's quite beautiful. I really like it, and I wanted to come back in here and see it. I think there's gonna be a bomb.
They're opening the road.
Oh, they're opening the road. Get out of the road. Oh, party's over. This is Monjayaki, and I have been waiting and waiting and waiting to try this. It is kind of like okonomiyaki, but you're gonna make it look like barf. So I'm gonna do my best to make it look like barf, and I can't really talk because it's hot, and here we go. I have no idea if I've done this well at all. So, Monjayaki is a specialty here in Tokyo. It's like Tokyo's food. If you ask somebody what's Tokyo's food, they'll tell you Monjayaki. And I've wanted to try it for a really long time. Basically, you just get a whole bunch of vegetables and items, you chop them up, and they come in a batter, and then you pour the batter on it and you spread it out. Once all this is chopped up and thinned out, it really looks like barf. And you let it cook for a while, and then you just scrape it off of the burner. And it just looks like barf. Good tasting barf, but barf nonetheless. Since I've wanted to try this for so long, the reason that I have not done it is because I never knew where to do it. But apparently here in Chuo-Ku, you can go to a neighborhood that is basically just Monjayaki, 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 Monjayaki. There's like hundreds and hundreds of shops. Maybe not hundreds and hundreds, but there are a lot. And we've chosen one just from our guidebook because it looked good, and it's actually been in service for 70 years. So we're hoping it's good. I don't know if it's going to be, but it looks like barf. So barf, dogs eat barf, right?
What? Are you a dog? What does that mean?
I don't know. I trust them.
Let's get another look at this. All right, get down.
I don't know if it's ready yet.
That's ready.
And you get these amazing little spoons. Where'd you get your little spoons?
Here's on your plate, dude.
All right. Theirs looks a little more cooked than ours, so.
All right, so we've waited a couple of minutes, and it is, we think, ready. It's kind of hard to tell, to be honest. Like, when's the barf ready? You don't know. So I'm going to use my little guy here and cut out like a piece. And this looks maybe a little bit watery. I think this is done. This is not quite done. So we'll just get a little of both. And the flavor of this particular Monjayaki is wasabi and mushroom. And we got it because wasabi. And I don't know if the wasabi is going to be equally spread through here, so I might just be getting mushrooms. Who knows? It's a bit of a gamble. It's like wasabi roulette. And you might get a big part in your nose, and it might hurt. I got a lot of mushroom. I didn't taste any wasabi in that particular bite. It's very, very vegetable-y, like there's cabbage and like all of that is very, very prominent. And the sauce, I don't know if I have words for what I would call that batter. It's just, the batter doesn't seem to have a whole lot of flavor. It just seems like it's holding together everything, and that's kind of its purpose. Very mushroomy though. Katie pointed over here. I don't know if she thinks wasabi is going to happen there. Is that your guess?
Yes.
You think I'm in a wasabi landmine?
Yeah.
Ooh, it's really hot. Yep. There's wasabi in there. Ooh, good lord. It's
Called
pretty
it.
strong. I wouldn't say that I am in love with this one, but there's like a million different flavors. There was like different ones with different kinds of seafood and different kinds of pork and different kinds of like, they had all sorts of, there's like Thai style ones on their wall, like they have advertisements for. So you could come here and you could choose from quite a few different ones. And we have another one we're gonna be eating soon, and it is Mexican style. Those are Doritos, y'all. So, like, we wanted to get one that was Japanese style, so we went with wasabi, and then we were like, let's get something interesting, like otherworldly, and we went with the Mexican one. So when we're done with this one, we'll throw that one down and see what we get.
I don't know if the radio is actually playing this song or if it's just the hot plate in front of me, but all I can hear is looking for some hot stuff, baby, the sooner. That's all I can hear in my head. That's Monjayaki music. We're on to the Mexican one now. We would say that the Japanese one really just, it was just cabbage and mushrooms. There really was no wasabi excitement. They needed like,
one bite I
maybe
had.
we've overdone wasabi and we're immune. But we're on to the Mexican one. We've got some ground beef, some Doritos, some salsa, lots of cheese, lettuce or cabbage. I'm not sure which. It would be lettuce to go Mexican, but cabbage to go Monjayaki. So I don't know.
Maybe it's a mixture.
I don't know what this stringy stuff is. Little salty.
Bonita. Bonito? Wait.
Seems thicker than bonita.
Bonita. Was it bonito Spanish or something?
It's so beautiful.
That's right.
And then we've got little shrimps, which goes both ways, I guess.
Yeah.
Like putting the Japanese onto the Mexican. I also noticed we've got some crunchies down in here, which I think might be representing the taco shell. Ish. Don't know. But this is dangerous. Because once you put that on, the steam starts. And that's scary. Because it hurts. Alright.
There you go.
I'm still learning. We've already been remarking that it smells like a weird twist of Japanese and Mexican food, so I'm gonna jump in. Again, no idea if we've cooked the barf long enough, but alright, here we go. It was really hot. And like in temperature. So I'm gonna jump in and grab something else because that was just hot on my tongue. How many times do you blow?
Depends on how.
3.
Depends on the temperature, I suppose.
How do you know the temperature?
Well, I mean, it's boiling there, so I think from there I can deduce it's warm.
We're going 5?
So I felt the last one was actually a little boring. Does this one have a little more excitement going on?
I'm gonna say no. And it just swings in a different direction, but it just kind of goes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'm a big fan of okonomiyaki after trying this, but I have been wanting to try the bar for so long. So it's still exciting. Like you can just scrape it off the plate, and it just feels. You shouldn't be doing that, and that's fun in itself. And just the whole creation and being your own little chef is just fun.
And eating with this guy is pretty fun too.
Yeah. Let's eat more.
I'm enjoying the Mexican one more than the wasabi one. And I think most of the reason is because there's cheese in it, and the cheese is kind of exciting. It gets melty and it spreads out through the whole thing and everything, and I think that's helping a lot with the with keeping it too bland. But the batter seems to just sort of water the whole experience down, so there's not a whole lot going on. And I think the way that this can be saved is with some condiments. And for the Japanese style one, they give you this tub of bulldog sauce, and we were using that on the wasabi one, and it's okay. And it helps a little bit, and I kind of wish that I had asked for mayonnaise and I could put it on top as well. I think that would have been really good and like help things out. Japanese mayonnaise, by the way, not American mayonnaise, not Miracle Whip. And this one I was thinking like it would be really cool if they had like salsa, and I could put like after it was cooked, bring it over on my plate, put some salsa on it. I think that would be a really, really good experience. And maybe like if you could have like a little bit spicy, or a green salsa, or maybe even Tabasco sauce or something would help like just bring that Mexican experience out a little bit more than what we've got now. It's not bad. It's just a bit boring. It's not the excitement that I was hoping to have. The cooking process is exciting, but the eating process is just, it's okay. I got an apple. Hey guys, that was Chuo-Ku part 1. And Chuo-Ku, that's where we went, right? I just realized, Chuo-Ku? Yeah. So it was a while ago that we went there, but this is the part 1 of the video. And part 2 is going to be about a fish market. And maybe some of you know a little bit about that.
It's kind of popular?
It's kind of popular. It's now, so we shot this in what, October or something? And it's now December. I don't know if that fish market still exists. We're gonna have to investigate that.
It does.
Does it?
That guy said that they weren't thinking about moving the fish market until March.
We're talking about fish market. They don't even know what fish market we're talking about. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. And we're in Shinjuku, and it's cold outside. And I should have put a coat on.
Yes.
But you go over here like an Eskimo.
I have his coat.
But the good news is I have a cookie. This is a Family Mart cookie, and if you come to Japan, and you want to cook? I see you getting excited about my cookie, y'all. So if you come to Japan and you like chocolate chip cookies,
and if you want to experience something Eric style,
get a chocolate chip cookie from 7-Eleven and Family Mart have equally good chocolate chip cookies. As you all know now, I'm a huge Family Mart fan because that girl helped me in Hokkaido. Like I'm just pimping the Family Mart, it's all.
I'm a fan of Family Mart as well. That's where I get all my coffee because they have like special spice, like seasonings to put. That's not the right word that you say with coffee, but
they
have
like caramel and stuff.
There's caramel sugar and like all these little things that no other place is offering. And I get all my lunches there because they have the best pasta salads.
I have cookies.
Yeah.
So anyway, this video we made this because of help on Patreon. If you want to help us make more videos and watch me eat a cookie while I try to. Can you talk for a while?
I would like to watch. Oh, I'm supposed to talk now. Okay, well, we were going to have me ask Eric questions, but now he's chewing.
You gotta talk about you gotta pimp things.
I'm pimping things?
Yeah.
There's social media. You can go onto Twitter and you could definitely like or thumbs up or subscribe. I know how YouTube works.
You know what? Recently there's been this big thing. Other YouTubers that know things about things are saying that like interactions are really important on videos. So like that helps a lot keep people subscribed. Like YouTube's deleting subscribers or something. I don't really know what's going on, but apparently if you like things and comment, it helps. So if you want to do those things, that helps as usual. And then we have a Patreon that helps us finance all the pages. And if you want to be a part of that, that'd be great to check that out. And then Facebook and sometimes Twitter. No. You did. I just finished chewing the cookie and I just started talking.
You're pimping so well.
I am, man, right?
Yeah.
And then something I had kept meaning to mention is that sometimes I post videos on Twitter/Facebook a little bit early than I post them on YouTube. And that's just my way of saying, like, if you want to follow us there, that you might get the video a little early in the future. No promises, but I do it sometimes when it works out timing-wise. It's a treat. And usually we answer questions from people, but we just realized we should shoot this end card, and I haven't had a chance to prepare any questions. I do have a list, but I haven't had a chance to do it. So you're gonna ask me questions, apparently. Okay, so she's gonna ask me questions. Are they cookie related?
Other than chocolate chip, what kind of cookie do you prefer?
I don't know, man. Raisin. That's gonna make a lot. That's really gonna cut this. Everybody's like, half the people just went, ugh. Right?
For real. Yeah.
Raisin cookies are good.
Raisin cookies are good.
I can get down on an Oreo too.
Oh yeah. I just saw some matcha Oreos earlier. Those look pretty tasty.
I just gotta go with the double stuff, man.
If you could trade in your height and not be tall, would you?
Nah. It's too much of who I am.
Yeah.
I think
it's true.
Yeah. I mean, I think I'm 6'7" or 2 meters tall. I'm excessively tall, and sometimes it can be a little annoying. Like buying clothes is a big pain in the ass, no matter where I am, Japan or America or whatever. But that's a little annoying. But I don't know. I'm just tall. This is who I am. People stare at me sometimes. Like, but I mean, whatever. Like, who cares?
I'd be staring at you.
Yeah, you're staring at me.
I love his height so much. He didn't.
And that's pretty much the reason, because if I gave up my height, she'd be with some other tall guy, and what good is that?
It is kind of true. Height's very important.
how much
Uh-huh.
time would you say we spend together on a weekly basis?
On a weekly basis?
Yeah.
Sleeping count?
No.
I don't know. 20, maybe close to 40 hours, I guess, waking hours.
Would you like it to be less or more or equal?
Probably more.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, but we'd have to, I wouldn't want it to see.
I wouldn't want it to see.
Probably more, but I would want to have I'd want to do things. I don't want to sit around the house.
True.
I like to travel with you and go out and do things with you. That's what I want to do. You know what I mean? I don't want to just sit around. So.
On that very happy note of wanting someone to hang out with me,
Yeah.
bye guys.
Thanks, everyone.